Okay, this is Mike Soares'y, Soares'y Guitars. This is our Model 140 tenor guitar, and this is tuned like a baritone ukulele, E, B, G, D, I believe. And this is our first attempt to merge different videos on our build, so I apologize if it's a little sloppy or not great, but we're not so much into the video thing, but this is an attempt to show you what we do and how we build them. Again, this is Mike Soares'y. Thank you. Okay, this is Mike Soares'y of Soares'y Guitars. This is our, I'm going to call this our Model 140 tenor guitar. So this is the size of a full-size Les Paul arch top. Not the junior, regular full-size Les Paul on here. This is a true full acoustic body. This has two braces underneath your top here. Does not have a bridge block or sound post or anything that would make it more like a semi-acoustic. This is a true full acoustic. We have kerfling lining going around the back, and what we do is we use a thinner straight lining around the top. The reason for that is we want the back to be stiffer and we want the top to be more flexible on this here. And this is a spruce top, mahogany sides and back on this here, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but you got a nice mahogany grain on this here, because what we do is we actually stain the wood. Your color is not in your varnish or lacquer or whatever you want to call your clear finish on here. It's actually in the wood. I see a lot of these Chinese guitars, they put the color right into the varnish, and they spray the guitars. If you get a chip, or you see sometimes the guys will strip their guitars down, they'll use a heat gun and a putty knife, and it takes all the brown and all the dark color right off, and you're down to a wood color underneath, because it's all in the finish. This is all, what you're seeing here is the actual wood that the guitar is made out of on here. Now we do use a aniline dye in the finish that we put our burst on. The top here is what we call tanned. They call it now toasted. They do it on a lot of maple. They call it toasted maple. It's tanned. It's the old-fashioned way of hanging your guitar up in the sunlight and letting the sun darken the wood. But color is in the wood on this here. We want to show as much wood as we can. Again, only around the burst here you do have this finish is inside of the varnish in order to get that. And again, it's mahogany, plywood mahogany back and side, spruce top, fully lined and blocked on this here. Tortoise shell all the way around your top and your bottom edge, around your horn and on your F holes. And what we do on this here is we have a large block on this here. A lot of guitars, arch top, they have a 3/4 inch block going across the top here that's dovetailed or whatever into the top that holds your neck on. You'll see a lot of old guitars where they fail at the bridge, at the neck block rather, because it's only a 3/4 inch piece of wood that's up there. It's a piece of wood that's put up there like this here, and it's glued on the top, and they tend to give away. We have a large 4-inch neck block, and the reason for that is to stiffen the top. We don't want the sound coming off the top. We want our sound coming off your bottom here. This is your speaker. We use violin technology. The idea behind this is that your top is going to vibrate twice as fast, or about twice as fast as your back, which makes the sound hit the back and bounce out of your F holes, giving you a bigger tone. This has a nice big tone on this here. for a 2-inch deep body. Everybody that gets these says, I can't believe the volume I get out of this little body. But again, this is where we start out. We don't finish our bodies in-house. We're in New York, and the OSHA laws are very strict in New York about spraying lacquer. And we used to have a commercial building. Now we're on a residential little shack next to my garage where we build these guitars. So we do form out our finishing on these here, but it's all done to our specifications. And again, this is Mike Soares'y. This is basically part one of our builds. Thank you. Okay, this is part two. This is our template jig that we're going to router out for our control plate and for our pickup. And on this here, we only have a 1/4-inch hole that we use for the pickup on this here. It's not mounted into the top. It's just we drill a hole to put the wire into the top on here, and then we're going to router this out using this template. Okay, we routed out the top for the control plate on here, and this is your hole for your pickup. And we also put a 3/4-inch hole down in the lower body there. You don't have your 3/4-inch hole. You don't have your little 1/4-inch or a little bit bigger hole. This is made so that your jack plug can fit in and out of your body. This will have a plate on it, so if you have any reason you need to clean this or adjust it, you take out your 2 screws, you pull out your jack plate, you can service it. You don't have to fish through the body. Same thing on the controls here. We made this where this control plate will go on here, your volume and your tone. This comes with 2 pickups. This has a humbucker pickup on the top and a built-in microphone inside to give you more of an acoustic sound. Again, this is a full acoustic, and so if you ever need to work on your volume and your tone or your switch, take out your screws, you can work on your thing. You don't have to fish your volume and your tone out through the bottom of your body over here, when usually they put them over here with no plate and you got to fish them in and out. So easy maintenance. Everything on, we try to take, we use old school building. We take everything that's good about old guitars from the 50s and 60s and even the 30s and 40s, and we try to fix what was a problem. Fishing the pickups in and out and getting your volume and your tone. Now what we did here is a lot of these guitars came with a P90. We're using a humbucker instead of a P90. In a P90 case, you have a 3/4-inch hole here that your wire goes into, and this is going to go up to your control plate on here. What we also did on here, P90s are flat, and to put them on an arch top, you have to push down your ears on this here. It tends to warp your P90 casing. We made a riser, number 1. This is so that the pickup rides above the top, so you don't need that big hole in the top that's interfering with the tone. And what we also did was we contoured the bottom of the riser to fit the contour of the top. The top is flat, so when you screw your humbucker in there, it's fitting flat. You don't have all this pressure on your pickup case on this particular guitar. Okay, and again, this is a bolt-on neck. This is going to be, and you have your, I don't know if you can see it, nice big block. The reason for the big block is the sound comes down onto your block and it generates down into the body like a bell. All your sound comes out of here, which is another reason why we don't put any volume or controls down here in the body. So we've made maintenance easier for the guitar, easy to work on, bolt-on neck, again mahogany spruce top, and This is part of our build, and what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to, I guess we'll go on to the neck. Thank you. Okay, this is our tenor neck, 22 3/4 inch scale, actually a little shorter than 23, about a 1/4 inch short of 23. Now this is a maple neck. This is what we'll call a V-back volute neck, so you have your extra meat behind the nut here, where a lot of your older guitars break. This gives you a much stronger neck. So there's the V-back. Neck is from the 1930s. They used to do the V-back necks for guitars before, banjos before they had truss rods. So this has a two-way truss rod in it. So you got your double on here. Nice strong neck. And then this is a maple. Now this is stained in the wood to I'm going to call it a mahogany color, a brown, and we use the Stu McDonald's aniline tobacco brown to stain these, and then we put a clear lacquer on top here, which is a matte finish. We had a bunch of customers that asked for a matte finish on the neck. Say it's smoother, it's easier to play up and down the neck. So we went ahead and made some with the matte finish on here, because it was no big deal whether it was matte or gloss. We get a lot of crazy people asking for crazy things, and we don't do them, but in this case it was just a simple thing. And on here we don't pre-drill these. A lot of guitar makers, they drill and they fix up their holes. If there's a little chip or blowout of the holes, they fix all of that, and then they finish off their necks. We don't, because this can be an 8-string mandolin head for an 8-string tenor, or an octave mandolin. It can even be a what do you call it, mandocello on here. So we use we don't do our drill our holes for tuners until we know what the guitar is going to be built as. This is a standard 32 millimeter, 1 1/4 inch nut for a ukulele. It's bone nut, and they're pre-made, and then we cut them down and we refit them to fit our needs. This is for a 4-string. If we're doing an 8-string, we take a 12-string nut. I think 52 millimeter. I'm not sure of that, and we cut them down to be an 8-string at the 32 millimeter. And this is our template for our drilling for our tenor guitar, our 4 tuners. What we're going to do on here is we're going to blue tape the head and the back of this, and we're going to crazy glue this to that. Then we'll drill out our holes and then remove the template, so our tuners are nice and even. This is how we do our tuners. And again, this is fully lined and fully, I don't even know what you call it there. The edge band is all tortoise shell, and we use a cellulose tortoise shell on here. We don't use that cheap Chinese stuff. And again, the wood is stained. A lot of the Chinese guitars, they put the color into the varnish, and they varnish it over it. You get a chip, and you see the white wood underneath it. This is stained into the wood on here. This is all old school on here. Our signature cream colored head to match your tuners on here, and your top dot markers, your side markers on here. And again, this is a maple neck 2-way truss rod, and we're going to drill this out. We're going to fit our nut, and we're going to level our frets on here, and then we'll wax our fingerboard, or stain it or oil it. Okay, we drilled out for the tuners. We added the decal to the top. The nut has been shaved and fitted. We're not gluing it on yet because we blackened all the frets, and now we're going to level the frets, polish them, and then after we do that, we'll do the tuners and the nut. Okay, we put on the decal, the grommets for the tuners, and we picked out 4 tuners for this. These are Wilkinson tuners. We like to buy them in bulk on here, and the nut has been fitted and glued on, and your frets have all been re-leveled and polished and oiled the fretboard. Now we need to let the nut dry. The nut is put on with some tile bond, and we're going to let that dry well, because if we play with the neck and try to put the tuners on, you could misalign the nut. So we always let the nut dry. Okay, the neck is basically finished. We still have to make a cover plate for the truss rod. We do that in the end after we adjust the truss rod. The decal is on. The tuners are installed. The nut is glued on. The frets have been leveled and polished. And that's about it for the neck right now. We got to put the neck away and go back to the body. We have to drill for the neck to be mounted, and then hook up the neck, and then do the tail. If I had to offer any advice to anybody that's just starting out building guitars or any other instruments, take your time, don't rush. If you don't feel like doing something, if something's off or there's a mistake or it's not going the way you want it to, just stop, walk away. Because the most important thing you can do is know when to stop and when to walk away, and come back to it later after you thought about it. But that's about it. Thank you. Okay, we're going to do the bridge next. We actually make our bridges. We use a Tune-O-Matic Nashville top for our bridges, and we buy all our parts separate. So we're going to take the Nashville 6-string, convert it to a 4. We're going to make our own base for this. This is a piece of cherry that's about 3/4 by 3/4. We're going to tap in the holes here for the adjusters, and it's a piece of tortoiseshell to cover the 1st and the 6th part of the fret. And this is your humbucker pickup that we have is set in the P90 setup here, and we've drilled for the neck. And as you can see, we have our spacer here that we custom make. The top of this is flat to fit the P90, and the bottom of this is contoured to fit the contour of the arch top, so there's no stress on the bridge. Okay, we put the neck on the guitar. We screwed the neck on from behind, and what we do here is we use an elastic from Michael's or any craft shop. We have an elastic, and we have these pins that we use for making jewelry. They go into the tail. This is our custom tail made for a 4-string. What we do is we take standard Casino 6-string, we take the bar off, we add our custom made bar onto that, and for now we use blue tape to hold the tail in place in case we need to adjust it to the right or the left. And this is our bridge that we made out of the block there, nice and high. And so you got your elastic going right down the neck, nice even from end to end. That's the setting up the. Okay, we take our tortoiseshell pickguard material, and again, this is the thicker stuff. This is celluloid tortoiseshell on here, not the fake vinyl stuff, but it's a little more expensive, but it's the thinner one. We use the thicker one on the binding because they make it. For some reason they don't offer the sheets with the thicker tortoiseshell on the top, only the thinner one, but it is thing. We have our jigs here, our wooden jigs. This is your your truss rod cover. This is your jack plate cover and your pick guard. We've already made the one for the control plate here, and what we do is we blue tape the back of the tortoise shell, and we also blue tape the jig that we're going to use, and then we crazy glue it or super glue the two pieces of blue tape together, and then we router them out. That's our fittings, or whatever you want to call them. Okay, we routed the pick guard, the escutcheon for the jack plate, and the truss rod cover. And just to show you, pull this off. That's truss rod cover, and here's the blue tape that was crazy glued to the other layer of blue tape. So you got two layers, and we do this on all the other parts as well. Guard. This all just peels away, and you put your jigs away and the next job. That's about it. Okay. Okay, we made all the we made the pick guard and the control plate, the truss rod cover using our wooden molds and a router, and now we've wired the guitar up. We have a microphone which is epoxied into the top of the body underneath, and this is your control plate. This is a standard volume tone with a .047 tone cap on here and a three-way switch on here. Also in the tortoise, get the name of it, Haywood or whatever, we copied a 1940s 50s Harmony K control plate, which is up over here, so you got nothing down on the body, no holes over here, nothing to fish out. You need to work on this, you take out the screws. All your components are right here, easy to work on. We have our pickup. The pickup goes through a 1/4-inch hole in through the top. You don't have a big hole in the top here, just a 1/4-inch hole on the top. We do our pickup last so that we can center it properly under the strings. Sometimes you get a guitar and the screws are all the way to the left or the right. We do our pickup last so we get them nice and centered under the strings here. And our jack, we use called pushback wire, which is heavily coated with a wax, which keeps the wire stiff, and it's also pre-tinned, so it's easy to solder, holds a better solder joint. And all we do is we drop a guitar cord into the bottom hole, which is a 3/4-inch or 1-inch hole for the jack, and we run our guitar cord through the body, and we just pull our jack out through the bottom of the body here. Okay, so again, no big fishing, no going in there with wires and strings and different cords, and then this will go on here and get mounted, and then after that we'll mount the pickup, and then we'll finish putting on the strings, stuff like that. This is your pick guard. We have to finish that. We have to make a bracket for that, and again in the tortoise, all in the tortoise, we have our truss rod cover and our adjustable bridge on here. One tip for soldering: we sand all our joints on the controls here, on the back of your pots. We sand everything. Everything's machined and it has a lubricant on it. So you want to sand all your places where you're going to solder or scratch it up with a razor blade. And so we set up the first and the last string. And let me just show you this here. We've had this for a good 50 years now. This is a wire cutter, and we use this to cut our strings after we string our guitars up. We go in at 1, 2, 3. They snap right off, no problem. We have been through 20, 30 of these over the years. What happens is, as you cut in your wire, you'll get little notches cut into your things here. Okay? Again, this has got to be good 40, 50 years old. We got this in a garage sale probably for $1 40 years ago. And if you hold this up to the light and you look where the cutters are, you won't see any notches, any dings in this at all. So if you happen to go to a garage sale and you see a nice old pair of cutters, just squeeze them, hold them up to the light. If you don't see any holes through the cutting part, you got a nice old steel cutter that'll last you a lifetime. Okay, and so we're going to finish mounting all our parts on here, and then we'll string it up and adjust it, and then we'll make you another video. But we're basically about 90% finished on this here. Again, this is Mike Soares'y. Thank you. Okay, this is Mike Soares'y, Soares'y Guitars. This is basically finished. We still have to adjust the truss rod, intonation, tune it, retune it, retune it. We like to have it sitting on the bench test for 3 days, tuning and retuning, readjusting the because it's wood. The wood needs to move, needs to settle in, but all your electronics are installed, and again, it's fully bound on the top and the back, mahogany sides and back with the plywood spruce top. Needs to be cleaned up, but we're all set up with your truss rod cover, again fully bound on your head, down your fretboard, bolt on neck on this here, and just to give you a quick idea of the sound. Now this is a full acoustic, no bridge block, no bass bar in here, no sound post, just 2 standard bracings like you find on a mandolin or a vintage K Harmony Gibson from the 50s. And again, it's a full acoustic. Has a nice big tone for the size of this. Is the size of a Les Paul. So it's a full size Les Paul body, but small for an arch top. And but it's great tone. Everybody comments on how good and what a big tone it has for the size of it. Again, this is with the we have a hooked up to a little 10-watt amp. That's the built-in mic. That's with the mic and the humbucker on here, and then with just the humbucker. Nice sustain, nice bass on this guitar here. Set the treble up. Nice low action, straight neck. We make our own. We didn't mention, I don't know if we mentioned it before, but we make our own volume and tone knob. It's a copy of a 1930s radio, and again, this is basically it. This comes with a nice hard case, and this will be sitting on the bench for another 3 days, just tweaking it. But it's basically the basic build is all finished on this here guitar. And this is Mike Soares. Thank you.